Yesterday, Nat and I were here, and we watched a little kid get stuck in the letter P.
A little kid got stuck in the letter P?
Yeah. P for pirate. P for penultimate P.
P for predicament.
Yes.
Yeah. We're here in Guelph at City Hall with...
Oh no, you used my real name.
Oh, sorry, with Totally Safe username?
Yes.
424. Totally Safe username 424. The man who taught me how to freestyle. So if I suck, it's basically his fault.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all his fault, basically.
That's what life is about, is passing the buck.
Passing the buck.
Responsibility.
Exactly.
Blame your teachers.
Blame your teacher.
Blame society.
And then blame society. I've had 30 years to improve my skateboarding, but it's still your fault.
Yes.
Yeah, because you got me into it.
Yeah.
You got me into it, man. It's a real penny board, but it was in someone's basement for a long time, and then moving day came.
This is mint.
Yeah, it's totally mint.
No one ever used this.
No, I drove by and it was
wheels
like,
are brand new.
I know, beautiful.
Squishy.
Oh man. So flexy and tiny. I do like the way it has this one. It's got a lot of flex, so it kind of pops up at the top. In the middle, it pops up. I mean, you gotta try the Anderson because it has the dragon wheels, which are also super buttery.
They're so tiny.
Yeah, they're small.
They're like baby wheels.
Well,
How do you even know what the front of this board is?
Because the graphics that point out. Nice thing about a bench is you can always just sit down.
I almost went head first into that bench.
Oh, you went from 0 to 50 though. Like this is the first time you've been on a board in a while.
It's true. That's how you do
That's it, man.
the 16-year move.
Skate to create.
Well, I used to remember that feeling the beginning of spring.
Yeah.
When you hop on a brand new board, it's concave.
Yep.
And then your feet would say, wow, what are you doing? The rest of you would be like, yeah, this is great.
You're like, shut up, feet.
Shut up, feet.
Oh, you're skating backwards.
Am I?
If you notice, the board has the logo right in the middle instead of near the back, where they're normally right near the back. And it's
How confusing.
No, it's because he's a freestyler. He started out as a freestyler. And if you have the logo in the middle, it means when you do the walk the dog, that's where you put your foot.
Oh.
So you don't wear out your shoes.
Slippery.
Yeah. Yeah. Boneless one.
It's fun to do like power slide to kind of 180. I don't know what the tricks are called, but they just used to be so fun. And
Yeah.
you just keep snapping the board this way and that way and mixing your feet up. And
Oh yeah. Flippity. Oh.
all the really useful things.
Well, skateboarding in general is not really that useful.
No. Well, that was it. Like, okay, I'm going to do the trick. How can I make this trick better? I'll unnecessarily rotate my board in some direction.
Exactly. Oh, and then you got to tell me where you learned all these freestyle moves, because you're the one who taught me most of the basic freestyle moves.
Oh.
But then I don't know where you learned them, because you're just, like, even back in 1986, there weren't a lot of freestylers in Barrie. Like, there were no freestylers in Barrie.
No, absolutely not.
So where did you learn how to freestyle? freestyle?
Well, somebody gave me a book on how to skateboard, and it was from the late 60s. It had these guys with those old banana boards doing things like a V-sit.
Oh yeah.
You know, hands on here, and then literally
Yeah.
And there was a trick called an ape hanger, where because you skateboard with bare feet,
Yeah.
and you hook your toes over the ends of your board,
Yeah.
and then pop. Because everybody knows it's impossible to make a board pop off the ground by itself.
That's crazy talk. Crazy talk. Use your toes, people.
So there was a lot of slalom pictures and people carving around and sort of kneeling on the boards and doing stuff like that.
Low to the ground.
Yeah.
Oh, that hurts the knee.
So it was a lot of carving kind of moves.
But that also had freestyle maneuvers?
Those were the freestyle maneuvers.
Yeah, but you taught me all this stuff. You taught me how to walk the dog.
I think a lot of that stuff like that was I think that is a move that necessarily evolves out of kick turning. I don't think anybody ever taught it to me.
You just figured out.
But yeah, it just sort of. But then later you'd see people doing it, and it was just. Yeah, I mean, when all you're doing in the beginning is kick turns and 360s, those were your two moves.
Yeah.
And those were also pre-power slide, because at first, as a kid, the logic to you was just to drag the tail if you wanted to slow down. And it wasn't until you started doing things with real speed and confidence that you discover you could make the wheels slide.
Yeah.
And it just became who can do a 360, then who can do the most 360s? Can you do a 720? That's crazy.
Yeah, seriously. That's about as much as I can do, 720.
Our buddy Colin,
Yeah,
that was his signature move.
the 720 spin.
He would start to go and go and go.
Colin's the guy I bought my first skateboard from when he got out of skateboarding.
He literally tore the core out of one of his wheels. He wound up for a 360 and he had these cheap, I won't say the company they came from.
Not cryptos.
No, not Cryptos. They're some kind of rubber knockoff. Anyway, he wound up and he went like that, and then it just tore the core right out of the wheel.
Oh my God. That guy had torque.
Yes.
The board I bought from him had red cryptos. Yeah. So when you went to California, did you already know how to skate before you went there?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And you just learned more stuff when you were there.
But when I went to California, I bought my first pro setup board. But it wasn't it was a Santa Cruz deck. It didn't have a skater's name on it.
Yeah.
And it looked like a big fish.
Oh wow.
It was so cool. It was bright red, and I got the Kryptonic wheels with German bearings and Indy trucks.
Classic.
But of course I had all plastic. I had copers
Yep.
and a lapper,
Oh sure.
and I had rails. I had a nose rail, and
Skid plate?
on the skid plate I had two black hockey puck looking things with 4 screws each. And the idea was when it wore down, you unscrewed it and you could rotate it. So until eventually you wore
That's a lot of screws in your tail though.
Well, the tail was huge. It was a whale tail, so it kind of went out like that and then back in. So
nice.
like a fish.
Yeah.
So these pucks fit perfectly on that,
Right
kind
on.
of configuration.
I didn't know. I thought maybe you learned in California, but you had been skateboarding before you went to California.
Yeah, but just kick turns and stuff.
Okay.
In California, I learned to grind.
Ooh.
That was like an alien concept to me. Wait, what? You intentionally put your trucks on a part that's like slowing you down, and
That's what the copras are for.
yeah, and I just started grinding stuff, and I'm like, oh wow, this is aggressive, this is fun. And the other move I took away from there was the acid drop,
Of course.
which was really simply just riding off of a higher thing, like holding on to the board.
Holding on to it.
Like, I don't know if I have enough.
Oh, you put one hand on the ground? Yeah.
Well, you would like literally, you'd come up and you just ride off like this.
Oh yeah, like Bill Danforth style.
And you just go straight off and clunk.
Yep.
That was called an acid drop.
No one grabs the board
It
anymore.
was a move.
Yeah.
That's the funny thing. Is it was like considered a move. And then, yeah, grinding and also power slides. I learned there, like serious power sliding.
Yeah.
And I think I was told about boneless,
Oh yeah.
but I never saw anybody do one.
Oh, okay.
And then a lot of the stuff was about jumping off of walls or objects and landing on your board. So it was okay to take several steps.
Oh, yeah,
You
you-
wanted to minimize the steps, but still.
But you grabbed your board and you like
Yeah.
popped it up into your hand and then did a caveman type of
Yeah,
thing.
like literally just.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't do that stuff anymore. But you did teach me freestyle. You taught me the truck stand and the rail stand and all that, and the rail flip. Like,
Yeah.
You taught me that stuff.
I must have, like, also around that time we started to see Thrasher magazine,
Oh, okay.
and they would have sequences of photos of a guy doing a trick, and
Yeah.
he'd kind of explain how to do it. Though, what was the other skateboard?
Transworld?
Transworld tended to have better photography,
Yeah.
and the Thrasher had more
Punk rock.
angry rants from kids. "Ah, nobody understands me," and, and I could relate. I could totally relate.
It's interesting because I just assumed you'd learned all that stuff in California and then
No,
brought it back to Barrie.
you know what I did take away from California was the attitude.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know it at the time, but it was a kind of an aggressive punk kind of, fuck this place, the world is gonna end, and I can shred, like I can shred something. I can express my angry, directionless thing instead of getting in fights and stuff like that. I can just destroy my board. I can destroy a piece of concrete. Also the attitude of sharing your tricks.
Yes.
That you weren't trying to look cooler than other people. You were there to have fun with other people.
Yeah.
And anybody who was a skateboarder was an instant brother. Like,
Yeah.
I stopped in Thunder Bay, and I was skateboarding on the road, and then the cop said, "No, you can't skateboard there." So I went on the sidewalk, and then he goes, "You can't skate there." And I'm like, "What?" I said, "It's illegal to skateboard here?" And he said, "Yep."
Wow.
Like, wow. So I carried my board, obviously, until he was out of eyesight and continued. But I met a skater there, and he instantly invited me to, I could sleep over at his place if I needed a place to crash. And he showed me all the cool skate spots.
Nice.
And we didn't really know each other, but
Yeah. You never met, but you both skateboarded.
we were both skateboarders, and that was
Yeah.
enough.
That's so cool. Yeah, I feel like that's still what I like about skateboarding. If I show up somewhere and I'm old and I do weird tricks, but people are generally, they want to talk and share some moves and
Yeah,
share some history.
everybody sucks, and that's okay. It didn't, when you're getting a bunch of people together skating, you would just get stoked. That was the term. You get stoked by other people attempting things that were maybe just outside of their reach.
Yeah.
And if they didn't make it, you're like, yeah, still like awesome, you went for it. And then when they finally would land it, everybody's like, yeah, and then it would make you do something crazy. And there would just be this buildup of energy and everybody doing crazy tricks, whatever level they were at. Anyway, that's maybe a bit idealistic. But
No, I think that's fair.
that was what I got from skating with other people. But a lot of the time, if you want to be any good, you skate by yourself. When I first started, obviously there was like nobody else in Barrie doing anything. It would take a trip to Toronto to like get to skate with other people. Well, a buddy of mine, he said, it's time to walk the dogs. I go, okay. And he had these 2 old boards. And so we put the dogs on leashes and the dogs would pull us down the street.
Oh.
And that was my first time on a skateboard,
Oh, wow.
getting pulled by a dog.
Sled dogs.
Yes.
In the great wild north of
Yeah,
Ontario.
and I was like, hey, this is really kind of fun. And then I found, I kept my eyes open. There were boards everywhere in people's garages. Those, like
what do you call those?
boards like this.
Yeah.
I had 2 boards, and then I'd give one to whoever I was going with, because Colin lived far away. So it wasn't until maybe high school that we started skating together.
When I saw you skateboard, it was you were in the parking lot at Innisdale, and you were like probably the first skateboarder I ever saw in real life. But I thought it was so cool.
It was really fun, and always looking for places, and it helped me to avoid the awkward interactions with a lot of people. It might have been a vibe I was putting off, but it seemed like all kinds of people wanted to get in fights with me all the time in high school. I think I was different enough that there was not much I could do to hide it.
Yeah, well, you had a mohawk and...
Well, the mohawk came much later.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You were just weird?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah,
You were just a weirdo.
I was just a weirdo.
Yeah. You're just a weird kid.
Yeah, and skateboarding was good because you could be aggressive without, and you're kind of
Edgy.
subconsciously saying to other people, don't mess with me. I mean, what is skateboarding about? Wow. I don't know, I really don't want to sound cliche. I think it's a means of expression for anybody who's a bit of a loner. It's fun.
It's fun.
Fun at its core. You wouldn't do it if it wasn't fun.
I feel free. I just feel like it's freedom.
Oh, carving. There's nothing like carving except for maybe actual surfing.
Right, which I've never done because I don't live near any surf spots.
Yeah.
But that's why I like the freestyle. You can do these. Just carve the gravity, you know?
Yeah.
Just see how long you can go.
Yeah.
I love that one. You're like Robbie Bullet. Yeah. Good. That's good, Rob. Yeah.